Now that I own a toy store, pretty much every action figure release crosses my hands at some point. Because of that, my collecting habits have completely changed. Today I want to talk about everything I currently collect and how I apply a certain set of rules to keep my collecting from going completely out of control. What is up, everybody? My name is Matt, often called Big Nerdy. Together we are the NWO, the Nerd World Order, and this is Nerdzoic. So as I said, Toy Store drastically changed how I collect, partially because it exposed me to new things, and partially because just having it in the store hit my fix for a lot of other things. After opening the store, I learned pretty early on that in order to not go broke or become like a crazy hoarder person, I needed to apply some rules as to what would be in my personal collection versus the store. Believe me when I say the desire is always there to get high on my own supply like Tony Montana at the end of Scarface, except instead of drugs piled on the table, it's toys, and instead of like Alejandro Sosa's men coming after me at the end, it's like the Pinkertons, but I digress. There's been many times where I go like shopping on my shelves and start grabbing stuff for myself, only to put it back. One of the most memorable times is with G.I. Joe Classified. I grabbed a bunch, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna start collecting this. Brought him into my office and I said, what am I doing? I can't collect this too.
What am I doing with my life?
And that's really where the rules started to come into play. Anyway, let's talk about what I collect and the rules I use to decide if it's collection worthy. Let's start with Star Wars because that's what I've been collecting the longest. It's what I have the most amount of stuff of. So I'm gonna break this down in between what I'm actively collecting, what I have paused in collecting, and what I plan to collect in the future. Actively, I'm still collecting 3.75-inch vehicles to be loose. Now, they're not displayed yet. Most of them are still sitting in a box in the storage unit with the rest of the overstock from the store. When I get a store, my hope is to be able to display all of these somewhere, not for sale, so that they're like flying or they're in a hangar or something like that. But I'm starting to gather them up now when I see them at good prices. But that's the only thing I'm really buying for Star Wars right now actively. I used to be very big on the mint-on-card Star Wars Black Series, but since the windows went bye-bye, I stopped collecting them. I just didn't care as much. Now that the windows are back, maybe I'll get back into it, but I don't know. I don't have the space for mint-on-card collections anymore, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. Who knows? For now, they just sit in boxes. It's like purgatory for Black Series figures for me. I also have a lot of things that I'm calling dead, but they're still here. That's everything from Power of the Force 2 all the way up to Revenge of the Sith mint-on-card. I'm thinking about actually selling all of this. Like, it might just be inventory when I have a physical store to have some older stuff in there, even though nobody wants it for more than $5. It is super nostalgic to me, but it takes up a lot of room collecting wise. The only thing I will definitely keep though is anything that's in like a posed scene inside of a window diorama box, and I have a lot of that kind of stuff. There's, I believe, Luke in a Rancor. There's a whole Rancor Pit Black Series somewhere. I love that stuff. Now, in the future, my hope is that I can kind of move to more higher end stuff to be part of my loose collection, because I actually started collecting everything loose since like 2018, except Star Wars. Since that was always a in-box for me, I have a hard time opening it. Even stuff that is like import stuff, I'm like, eh. So maybe I'll start doing more import stuff for Star Wars, and I'll open that, maybe just like specific Black Series so I can have some like 1/12 scale Star Wars, but maybe I'll just move up to 12-inch Hot Toys. I already have one that I was given by my brother-in-law as a thank you for fixing his sink, and I love it. It is the Mandalorian with Baby Yoda, Baba Yaga, the Boogeyman. Nah, it's just Grogu. And I do plan on ordering the Return of the Jedi Hot Toys later. So that's a good start, but that's a lot of money and probably a little bit far away because I only have 1, 2, 3 display cases. Everything else is going in the storage right now. Which brings us to Marvel, and I'm going to kind of push all of it here. So Legends, Hot Toys, anything Marvel. So what am I actively collecting? All classic comic book versions. I'm limiting it to like maybe 250-ish, like the top of the 10,000-ish Marvel characters, and occasionally I'm mixing in some other versions like Wolverine. You gotta have Tiger Stripe. You also really kind of need the yellow and brown or else it doesn't make sense. So that's kind of my plan with Marvel. I do mix in some Mezcos from here and there a little bit. Not too much though, because I don't like the spandex look of Mezco, but my Mezco Ghost Rider, Mezco Punisher, those are like perfect for me. In the future, I do want to add some Mafex in there, but only for specific characters. When that Daredevil that was shown at SDCC this year comes out, that's mine. When the Phoenix comes out, that's mine, because they're gonna kill anything that Legends does. But overall, I'm still very happy with Marvel Legends, except for the MCU ones. I was collecting a lot of these, and I think it's time to sell them off. I just don't care about the MCU anymore. The only thing that makes me a little tentative here is that Doc Ock that's coming out, because that thing looks cool. Like, the cables look like stiff HDMI cords, and for whatever reason, I want it. Overall though, I don't really care all that much about the MCU. So bye-bye MCU toys. Then there's DC. So DC is kind of confusing for me. Actively, I am collecting the McFarlane stuff. Not all of it. Not all at all. Only like main characters or old school movie stuff like Dark Knight. I'll be getting all of the Batman Return stuff when it comes out. I have the Batman Batmobile from Batman 89, but it doesn't mix with anything else, so I keep it by itself. In the future, I'd like to start having like a 6-inch line of DC that is Mezco and Mafex. With Mafex, I'm probably going to start with the Nightfall Batman that's coming out along with the Nightfall Bane. With Mezco, I think I'm just going to go with villains to start with. I got Mr. Freeze, we need to get some Joker, and we'll go from there. I have a handful of 6-inch DC figures, but I don't know where they fit. I might even just sell them, but I think they were sculpted by the Horsemen, so I kind of feel bad. It's those movie ones from like 2012, so I don't know what I'm going to do with those. And I only have a couple. I think I have Batman and Bane, and that's it. Which brings us to wrestling, which I don't talk much because it doesn't seem like anybody else who watches this channel collects this, so I don't talk about it too much, but I love it. I actively collect anything that is pre-turn of the century wrestlers, including multiple versions. I don't care, and I still cheat every night now and then. I have been leaning away from Elites lately though, towards Ultimate, because I feel like they're not putting the same amount of effort into the Elites as before. On the paused moment, the ring. I have a ring, I have a whole display, it takes up a lot of space. But just like I said I want to display my Star Wars ships at a store someday, same with the ring, but I don't just want one. I want to set up like an Attitude Era display and have WCW, WWE. That stage not getting funded really screwed things up, so I'm going to have to commission one somewhere, but I'm still pretty excited to set that up one day. I also want to finish my Defining Moments collection eventually. I love those, I have them all mint on card. I hope to finish it. I only need a few more, which are of course the super expensive ones, but then all the new ones that are coming out also. As far as what I don't collect anymore, I don't collect current wrestlers anymore. I do cheat from time to time. When I find like a $5 Seth Rollins at Ollie's, I can't say no. Then there's TMNT, and honestly, I spend way too much money on TMNT stuff. Actively, I collect everything NECA, it seems like. All the movie lines. I still need the Turtles 2 Turtles, but I have pretty much everything else to date. The cartoon line, I have almost everything, but I stopped at some of these obscure characters. Once we get into like the old lady crossing the street, I think I've got everything. So basically anything after all of the mutants, I think the last one I still need is the Scumbag and Someone set. After that, I'm probably done with the Turtles line until we get more cool stuff. Like once we start getting like space turtles and stuff, yeah, I'll have to buy that. And yes, I did buy the van. I cannot wait for that to arrive. And no, I didn't buy the sewer because as much as I love turtles, I couldn't justify $300 for that. That just seemed a little bit insane. That said, if somebody wants to make a Technodrome, I don't know how the hell you're gonna do it, but I'll buy it. I don't care. Oh, $700? No problem. Make me a Technodrome like the Cat's Lair, please. Now, as far as like future and new, I guess I'm collecting the comic book stuff. I don't know what I'm collecting from the comics. Is it Mirage? Am I gonna collect the Archie stuff? Because some of the Archie stuff looks great, like that Slash. I think Dreadmon and Jaguar come from there. I don't know if I'm gonna collect that, but I am collecting the Mirage because I got the Turtles. Now I have to collect them all because we're sick. Let's just face it. Next thing I collect, woo! 4 Horsemen. Not those 4 Horsemen, different 4 Horsemen. We're talking the mythic, cosmic, Obscura Horsemen. So actively, what do I collect? Figura Obscura. I got them all so far, except for the monkey because I just wasn't feeling it, but I'll probably go back and buy it later because I'm sick, like I've said before. We all are. We collect toys. I've also barely started, but I want the actual 4 Horsemen of Mythos and their mounts. What do I have so far? The Fire Guy, Ethereal. But yeah, it's just too deep. There's too much stuff. I do have all of Wave 1 Cosmic sitting in a pile to open. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to keep them because it's just so much stuff and you can't collect everything, but I probably will. Now, things that I haven't started collecting yet, but I think I'm going to, or I'm almost positive I'm going to. I need some Motu in my collection. The question is, which Motu do I want? Do I want to go Mondo? I'm actually thinking about it, but I also really like the cartoon versions of Masters of the Universe because I grew up on it. I bought the Super 7 Atom when I was at PowerCon this year, and I would love to go back and get some of the other Super 7 stuff, but it's stupid expensive. Now, Mattel is suddenly doing cartoon versions, and they're not quite as good as the Super 7 version / Matty Collector, but at $20 compared to $200, they're awesome. I might even add the Super 7 playsets to go with it, or I'll just get the Origins ones and do some upgrading, because from what I see, the Origins Castle Grayskull is only slightly smaller than the Super 7 version, so yeah. NECA Dinosaurs. I don't know how I'm going to say no to this. I just don't know how. I love them. I have to. NECA Gargoyles. Also love them, but I have resisted them so far because of the size. If you're going to collect them, that is like almost a whole display because of the wings. Those things are massive. Also, something I never thought I'd want to collect, but lately it has been kind of gnawing at me, me and I've been enjoying it. Transformers, specifically the 3-0 ones. Those 3-0, I think it's the MDLX ones, I saw them in person for the first time at Toy Fair, and I love them. Those things are insane. Will I collect them though? I don't know, we'll see. I've also thought about doing the Masterpiece, or maybe even going third party. I don't know. I'm not one who cares all that much about the transforming piece, but I probably end up will caring once I get one in my hand. I don't know, man, what is wrong with us? I love toys. Also in the future, I kind of want to collect all of the vintage fandoms of the stuff I used to collect, but again, I need to win the lottery for this to happen, folks. So if anyone wins the Powerball, let me know. We can build a toy museum. And if it wasn't just money, space is also finite, which means decisions have to be made. But that does not mean you can't be creative with your display, and in this video here, I show you all sorts of ways that you can do that. But you gotta remember, you gotta get old, you don't have to grow up, just be cool and stay nerdy. Later.